save. You're picking him solely for the ultimate. His other 3 spells are all pretty
And also,
lackluster.
you actually need quite a bit on the AA. Like, you need to get levels, and Ags is really what makes it super good. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, I get it, but BKB cancels it.
Dude, that says a lot. At FINEM, ban out Bounty Hunter. That ban there just tells the story.
And they're up against the bat. So the Wisp ban, Nyx, and Rubik quick picks.
Ooh. I mean, immediately the Nyx against the bat.
Yeah, that's nice.
Let's see if they go for the silencer.
Oh, I hope they don't.
And the other question is with LFI, is it going to be the bat in Zhao hands or in Yao's hands? They can play it both as the 4 and the 3. If they feel like they can play it in the 4 because MNT's not on that aggressive roaming hero, that's likely going to be where they try and play it.
That does give them FINEM like this kind of sense of a paranoia. You don't know where that bat is going, which doesn't come from all teams.
Yeah, that's true.
Yao and Xiao.
They call them the Blood Brothers, you know.
Why is that?
They've been together.
Just together forever?
Yeah, since forever, and they wanted to play together. Oh, there we go, the silencer.
It's like no tail and fly.
To deal with the Nyx. I know Ted doesn't like this.
Oh, I hate that hero.
You hate playing that hero, or you hate playing against the hero?
I don't want anything to do with him. He shouldn't be in the game.
What, does the global silence?
It's just that whole thing is fucking stupid. It's like having a game where you can all have fun, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, there's no more game for you. It's the worst thing in the game. It should not exist.
How does it compare to Alchemist, though?
Alch, I mean, geez, you know, you can beat Alch. He doesn't just have to press one button.
Oh gosh, we have an Alchemist hater, we have a silencer hater.
You guys
Fuck
just
techies while we're at it.
No, techies is fun. Come on, techies.
Nah, remove him from the game.
Winter loves everything, right?
We're on Winter.
I bet there's heroes Winter hates.
Yeah, Winter, come on. We're all hating something.
A hero you hate playing as, against, you hate him for stuff.
Say it like you mean it.
Meepo. I hate playing Meepo and C-Pubs.
Whoa. Yeah. Not a fan. And yet your friends at Warriors Gaming are big fans of him.
You want to win Dota, you know? I'm just trying to have fun in a pub, you know?
You want to win. He's just playing for the bans. Got some new bans coming in, and it's going to be another respect ban almost. Morphling's going to be taken away.
Still got the tag on that hat, just in case you could take it back after the event's over. Eh?
Yeah. Well, we've got you on camera now. I'm going to send your photo to the secret shop.
Do not refund this hat.
Yeah. But this time the Ursa will be still open. FINEM banned out the Ursa the first 2 games. And this game they chose to remove the bounty. So that's going to be available for LGD, and they're on the Dire side.
They need to have one more ban too, though. They could target. They've already targeted one of ZOAF's heroes. So we'll take.
I mean, Ursa or Lifestealer would be really good. Like both of those heroes are very good in the lane against Nyx, and obviously Lifestealer you already have the vehicle with the Bat Rider. Yeah. So that would be a lot of synergy with those 2 picks. Plenty of good options here for LGD. Oh, that is the Oracle.
It's Oracle.
Yeah, it's Oracle.
It's not Chan, it's not Omni Knight, it's Oracle.
And it's
of course.
Of course it is. Looks a bit like Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka.
It does.
You're turning violet, Violet! There's like 4 people that know that reference. Still, Nyx and Rubik for FINEM, and Silencer and Batrider making Ted puke.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
I mean, the Nyx Rubik is like, again, an opening that very similar to the Rubik Sanking. You don't know where is it going. Whereas for the Silencer Batrider, very clear. Team fight, very strong team fight. They jump in, they pop the global, they're going to decimate you from the map. That's their plan.
And I mean, it's such a great storyline when you remind everyone that Spartan, captain of his team, is drafting against one of the most highly regarded.
Gosh, look at the bans.
Of LGD.FY.
Those are really targeted bans. What heroes that they are good at.
Or it's like you're going into an elimination match. At FINEM team who want to stick, you expect them to stick to their guns, so you may as well ban out.
Yeah, I don't mind playing against Alchemist. I'm not giving you a puck.
Yeah,
that's what he's basically. That's what he's saying.
I mean, this
right
guy's been in so many Game 3 deciders, elimination matches. He kind of knows, like, he probably knows better than that FINEM know, like, what they're going through and the kind of pressure they're dealing with. And that you're in that position, you're always going to pick to your strengths as a team and to your comfort zone rather than trying something totally new. If you think you can beat them, and FINEM have shown that.
And you want to take your opponents off their comfort zone.
Yeah. That almost feels like a block pick with this Lifestealer.
I mean, it's also good with their heroes because they have the, there we go. Those are the 2 heroes. 1 each.
Oh boy.
All right.
Just coming to that point, Winter, you've repeatedly spotted and identified when heroes, or rather players, are on uncomfortable heroes, taking them out of that comfort zone. We've seen it today. And what happens? We've seen the outcome of being outside of your comfort zone, and often it isn't pretty.
when you're out of your comfort zone, you tend to make more mistakes, and you tend to make wrong judgments about the limits of the heroes because you don't understand the hero well. You don't like playing the heroes in pubs, because that's how you get like a signature hero. You play the heroes in pubs a lot, and your captain looks at you. Oh, you like to play this hero. I'm gonna try to fit it into our system. That's usually how it starts. Right. So you want every player to be on their comfort zone with their heroes.
Mirana.
Doug does. He played this a lot during the qualifiers. We haven't seen it as much since. And I want to say it's going to be him, but it could also be...
Can it be an MNT hero?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, absolutely.
He plays the roaming Rihanna in... Like, was it a group stage game or was it a previous...
He did the main event.
Main event. Main event games. So he's going to be able to run around, help set up a kill maybe with the Nyx. Because Silencer is an easy kill if you get the Impale into the arrow. That could be... Oh, great.
Oh, my God.
Great.
They're going to Alchemist.
Is that the first time LGD has gone for the hero so far? Not seen them play the hero yet, but definitely not a stranger to Super. Super has played a lot of Alchemist games in the past, but in a different manner. It's not like a greedy farming manner. It's like more like the mech carrier, the tanky hero.
Do you think he's going to go for more fighting build since that's his style, or
they have
get the solo press build?
They have a Ursa though. I think Ursa will do the fighting job, and Alchemist will be just on.
But Ursa will tie him up with the bat and the silencer and whoever else they pick, while Alk is off making money.
Skrilla. Moolah.
What the heck do FINEM do here to stop that Alk?
I'm sure
not put Miranda mid,
I'm
probably.
Sure
put a stronger mid.
Timber is gonna get banned by Forever Young.
Yeah,
very likely.
Yeah.
So
what's the other? Who are the other outcomes? Timber's the main one.
Timber and Ursa are both the main ones, and both are out. So LGD, I mean, they get to see the last hero from LGD, so that's a plus for them.
Okay. Didn't we see in Pugner decrep him when he goes to get a last hit? What happened the other day?
It's kind of like you can win the laying stage, but then lose
what?
The game. Yeah, it's
Sanking. Oh
Sanking.
gosh. So LGD.FY have a good team.
Is that the support? The support bat rider?
It's a Zhao 8
Well, it's flexible. They could do either, but more likely we've seen them do the Zhao 8
bat. FINEM is in a very, very tough corner here. What do they do? There's not many good options here for them.
They don't have a Meepo player, do they?
I mean, Shadowfiend is pretty decent against Alchemist. Okay. I'm not sure if he plays the hero. Could work with them because you don't want a single core lifestealer. You want a secondary carry. So
he plays a lot of Templar Assassin. That may be more the style of hero he wants to be on. But
OD. Good
has
mid.
some save.
Yeah.
Secondary hitter, but Alchemist still farms pretty okay in that lane. Though. He doesn't get dominated like he against the Timber.
Guys, it's happening. It's going to a third. The draft is done. I'm not going to ask you your opinions on the draft. I'm simply going to sit back and watch this.
Sit back and relax.
Yes,
lovely.
Indeed. The last game of Dota today for the Boston Major. It will determine who will be joining that semi-final squad. We will simply have just 4 teams of 16 that started here at the Boston Major. It will either be LGD Forever Young or it will be FINEM. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Dota with your commentators.
Which one of these teams is going to be heading into the semifinals of the Boston Major? Will it be LFY or will it be FINEM? There's a lot of things to talk about here, but let's start with the familiarity in the draft. LFY, they had their series against LGD, and they have 3 of the 5 heroes, Bat Rider, Silencer, and now a Sand King for LFY. If you're looking at this draft and you're an LFY fan, you got to be feeling a bit confident. This is their draft. This is the lineup that they are already beaten one team here, and they're about to face up against another in a final series.
Yeah, I think there's very little question that LFY came ahead on the draft here. But the question is, how can FINEM stop this Alchemist, which has been such a terror throughout the main stage?
They couldn't get their hands on a Timber Saw, no encounter to the Alchemist. Instead, they'll get the OD. And FINEM.
You have to outplay so hard, I think, if you're FINEM.
Yes. And they're already trying to get themselves a leg up in this series by going for a 5-man smoke deep into the dire jungle, see if they can catch someone with this combination of telekinesis and arrow. It's just not going to happen. LFY, though, this Alchemist is still going to be pretty well pressured. He may not be facing up against a Timber Saw, but he is facing up against an OD imprisonment into an arrow. How is LFY going to be able to combat that constant ganking prowess?
Stack a lot and make sure that Nyx Assassin, I think, is kept down. You can maybe like park the bat mid or the silencer mid, but I think you just accept the fate that Alchemist is probably going to die a couple times, but make sure that he can catch up in the mid game. And who's going to ruin your mid game? It is going to be Skylark.
Oh, these stuns are so important. Can Skylark land the big impale leading into the arrow? They're going to be able to get the telekinesis onto the Alchemist, tossing him into the Batrider. The arrow's going to clean out Whiff, and they've already brought Spartan low enough. They're going to be able to get the first blood. Madara is now stunned up by a Burrow Strike and surrounded by 4 heroes. That's going to be a second one down. LFY. Okay, a fight over the bounty rune. Sure, you can go ahead and have that one, Madara, but a first blood and a second blood for LFY. I'm sure they're more than happy with that exchange.
The thing about Super is he's not that greedy of a player. He's good at Alchemist, but he's also doesn't try to eke out every little bit of farm. And you see at level 1, he picked up Acid Spray for that fight. He's like, I don't really care if I get the bounty rune. Our team's going to get so much more if I just Acid Spray them down. And like Lifesteal was still at the bounty rune after the Acid Spray had to come out. And as a result, he died. And he knows what's good for the team. That's why I like Super as a player. And on the bottom lane, Madara getting blocked out by Yao.
They might be able to get him again. He's going to open wounds, try and slow down the body blocking, gets into the trees, but Zhao Weight's going to try and pursue out. Eats through a little bit, gets one last kill. He does get it, and now he's going to try and fly himself away. Spartan with only physical damage in his array cannot put a stop to that. A third kill going to LFY in this game 3.
And unfortunately for Madara, he's forced to walk all the way back. Look at this poor old Lifestealer. He doesn't even have a lick of experience to his name. That's a long walk. That's one of the saddest feelings as a carry player.
Well, Spartan will at least get some of the solo experience. Meanwhile, mid lane, bottom lane's a disaster. Look at Thug. He's already low enough in this Acid Spray. They haven't gotten a gank on Super. You said, Super is already a naturally pretty conservative player. He may be exactly the kind of player you want against an OD Mirana lane. If they're going to kind of just say, we're going to shut down these other lanes and leave Super to it, you want somebody who's conservative against all the odds.
Yeah, he is very, very conservative. I don't think he's going to die nearly as much as the Alchemist did in game number 2. Skylark, he's getting some sort of levels. It's not an easy lane for the Nyx Assassin, however. Stout Shield and HP Regen is going to do very little in the way to help him against the Fury Swipe stacks.
A whiff on the deny from N will allow Skylark to be able to pick up his level 3. So he can actually potentially set up a kill himself with the Mirana trying to make a rotation over. Looks like he's going to try and scout out what Zhao Wei is up to first. He is actually clearing through a double stack. So a good time for maybe next time to be here, but can he actually do much against Zhao Wei? He's already been slowed down by this sticky napalm. He's going to be forced into a leap. Zhao Wei's just hoping to be able to push him back far enough that he can continue to get these neutrals without sharing experience.
He is relatively low. A straight arrow could catch Xiao 8 if he's not careful. Maybe next time no leap up, but is he going to be able to hit it?
Faking it, lets it fly now. Zhao 8, it's on point almost. Ooh. Zhao Wei, thanks to just boots of speed, will allow him to get away.
He gets a free Wild Wing, and I think he's going to be able to arrow the Dark Control Summoner, so he's slowing him down a lot in the amount of creeps that he's able to steal. And he's actually ahead of the Batrider in terms of experience. Maybe next time already level 3.
Man, they talked about this matchup before Game 1 even happened. Pre-game series, they compared maybe next time with Zhao 8.
He sees it. It's so
tough. Fast, though. Maybe next time would have to dive into the tier 2, and even then would only have a prayer at being able to take down that courier. So he doesn't try for it. Zhao Wei's not going to try and make the jungle work. Not anymore. He's going to try and do some laning with his pal Yao.
Arrow narrowly misses just a little bit to the left. Maybe next time would have had that courier kill too if Super were greedy enough to go back for the bottle refill. But
yes.
He's just super conservative. He's like, I'm okay with getting less farm as long as it's for the good of the team, and losing the courier is definitely a bad thing. But maybe next time, still hovering around that area, he is ready for perhaps a chicken gank. He's smoked up in between the T1 and the T2. What is he waiting for?
Bottom lane, Xiao Wei's trying to chase down Spartan. The Invis rune will be picked up by
He's going for the
here,
chicken
but
kill
he's
right
still
now.
Going for the dive in. Maybe next time trying to get the courier, but at the same time, Spartans push all the way back to the tier 2. Neither one will result in a kill.
They wasted a smoke for that, too.
Not looking good for FINEM here, as LFY are taking quite the lead when it comes to the laning phase. They do have an Alchemist that's going to kind of boost numbers quite a bit. Oh, there goes the first OD imprisonment into the arrow. It is going to be on point here. Looks like this could be a first kill for FINEM. They're going to jump in, increase that attack speed, trying to finish off Super. They'll be able to get that kill. DDC as a support can't really do much with the silencer.
much needed kill for them. And LFY, their goalie is not really that great, all things considered, and maybe next time has done a great job of slowing down the neutraling. And Xiao 8 will run into Spartan. He's in a lot of trouble.
He does have telekinesis, and the arrow is also here. It will nail Xiao Wei with, oh, nice interception there. Yao's going to be able to get the burrow strike onto Madara, but it doesn't seem to be enough. The open wounds on Xiao Wei, that stun just lasted too long. And FINEM strike once again. As soon as we start saying bad things about their laning phase, they show us what's up. They get a couple of ganks in and start altering their fate.
Yeah, maybe next time has to do the work in the early game, be around, just constantly threaten this Alchemist. He's a little bit scared. Arrow goes out in mid. It will be dodged, and Super does have an invisibility rune.
A full assault coming into the bottom lane. They have the silencer wrapping around here. They're going to try and lead off onto the Lifestealer. Lifestealer's going to be chased down. He doesn't actually have the mana. Unfortunately, he does have base boots. Telekinesis will also be able to buy him a bit of space. Yao doesn't have the mana to be able to work with either. Slowly but surely taken down. It looks like the Caustic Finale. Is that going to be enough? 6 HP. That's all the Madara has. They will manage to get the Rubik. Yao's going to go down, though, in return. Skylark does manage to help get that one. Arrow. Oh, maybe next time. He keeps on feeling these arrows, and he's just barely off the mark. Maybe they can still catch up, though. Or maybe not. They actually have no leap for 15 seconds. Skylark, if he lands this impale, he got him. Now they can actually close the distance and will manage to get the kill.
And they had vision up there, too. They had a high ground observer ward, and that arrow, very predictable, but it was right at the corner. He did not want to run into Skylark at that moment. And
arrow comes out. Super is hasted.
He's low, and he's not level 6 yet. Just 1 or 2 more creeps, and the reinforcements start coming in. Yao TP's right behind DDC.
Skylark. Oh, nicely timed leap there, right as Yao went for the burrow strike.
That's so hard to do as a Mirana. You want to do it instantly, but you also want to make him waste his burrow strike. Skylark.
And the counter ward is there.
Yeah, they were attacking Observer Ward. Unfortunately, they don't have a sentry to get rid of their sentry. And Xiao Wei looks like he will be able to get the rune or get that ward at the end of the day.
I mean, it was a great idea, right? LFY came forward with this aggressive maneuver, tried to create space. Oh, nice play in the Caustic Finale. Skylark, what a genius. He sees the Caustic Finale about to go down right as the Sand King right-clicks the creep. He pops the Spike Carapace from Invis, instantly stunning Yao, and managed to line that up nicely with an impale.
And now the Roshan ward wars begin. Maybe next time. He went into the Roshan pit, but instead of laying it on the right side where Xiao Wei was napalming, he places it a little bit to the left. And hopefully that will be enough for them to keep that ward up. But unfortunately for them, DDC just eats it.
It's gone. Both teams spending so much time around this Roshan, expending so many resources. We have 2 wards down from FINEM around that pit, 1 ward from LFY, as well as a very deep ward. They tried to move aggressively to be able to buy end space to be able to take that Roshan, but FINEM are just not letting them have it. So N is back to farming up that top lane, and we'll try and push into that tier 1, forcing some rotations.
There were no heroes up in the top lane for a good 2 or 3 minutes. Like everyone was fighting down on bottom, knowing that if LFY get like 1 or 2 kills, it's an easy rush for them. And FINEM, they're like, no, we are not letting you get Roshan.
They know exactly how this whole entire lineup is going to start scaling. But if they're stopping the Ursa, what are they doing to stop this Alchemist? DDC going to be blown apart here, looks like. Oh, barely! 14 HP, just a stick is what separates him from life and death. Thug missing out another kill, and all the meanwhile, like, these little plays are happening. The Alchemist is just farming away in the jungle at FINEM. They need to keep that in mind, even if they are keeping the Ursa at bay from Roshan. There is this ticking time bomb that's going on.
Yeah, Alchemist, his net worth is not even that high. They haven't been able to control the rune just because maybe next time is just all around that bottom rune and all over Xiao Wei this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's shutting down 2 heroes at the same time.
Yeah.
Alchemist as well as Batrider are basically having half the game that they should, because maybe next time's disruptive performance on this Mirana first rotation is going to come out from Skylark. They're going to be able to use this Vendetta as a vehicle for the first Lifestealer rotation. Now, the Infest, this should be just like an instant kill if they can actually find a hero. They're going to see for a moment DDC. Are they going to go for the long-range impale? No. They're looking for the Alchemist. That's what they want.
Radiant has used scan. They're looking for the Alchemist. He is invisible. Is he going to reveal himself as the Iron Talons this creep?
Oh, he's thinking about it. He's got the Chemical Rage up, but I think LFY know what's going down. The Vendetta, it's wearing out. Super shows himself now, but it's a bit too late. Skylark They're going to pop out, and that is the first failed gank of FINEM. Now it's going to be LFY's turn to respond. They know Infest is down.
Oh, Rubik's stolen Burrow Strike.
Oh, that's a great pickup.
That is indeed. He'll see a lot of the offlaners pick up level 1 Sandstorm. It's incredibly important against a Rubik, but at the same time, maybe he didn't expect Rubik to be level 6 at the same time as Yao.
Yeah.
Spartan, he's died twice. He's actually level 7.
And thanks in part to that disastrous start for Madara. The early solo experience has allowed Spartan to do a whole lot, but will it be enough for him to escape from this attempted gank from LFY? Ursa shows himself, while Yao wraps himself around with the Tranquil Boots. You also have Zhao Wei in the back lines here, covering the retreat potentially. He's going to cut off the creep wave and bring it into the neutrals. Now, Rubik actually thinks they can pull this all off. He's going to try and cut off the Bat Rider, get a Telekinesis Burrow Strike combination, but can't quite reach it.
But look at End. He already started on Roshan, knowing that without the creep wave, they have to venture into this area alone. End, with his Mask of Madness, is already at 75%.
Oh, that's going to nail End. That's real bad because already FINEM has started making the rotations.
And the Fury Swipe stacks are off. This is
Skylark's going to
no-go.
be able to come in. They already have the Infest Bomb. Fortunately, Yao's going to be able to intercept that, allowing End to be able to get away, but it's going to cost Yao his life, it seems. The Sandstorm is just not enough. 2 down from LFY. Fortunately, Roshan is not low enough for FINEM to intercept. But that is the second go at stopping LFY in their game plan of being able to achieve an early Aegis.
Oh, and the arrow scouts out this large ancient stack, and a lot of experience will be going the way of FINEM, while the Acid Spray takes a little bit for Super. And Zhao Wei also trying to absorb a little bit of experience on his own. And currently, FINEM are losing the war battle over there, but they have so many heroes over there that Ursa just does not dare venture into the Roche Pit.
Whew, look at that. That net worth. FINEM are actually up 2K. So their laning phase went a whole lot better.
Skylark's playing so well this game on the next session.
Yeah.
He's constantly threatening LFY.
Barely off the marker there. The timing just not quite right to catch the Ursa in mid. Meanwhile, there's a trio pushing out the bottom lane, but they're going to be met by LFY and their aggressive plays.
All it takes is one big fight for LFY for them to get Roche.
Yeah.
At FINEM, they cannot be too hasty in this pushing of the T1 tower.
Especially when they're pushed that far forward, away from their tier 1 tower, away from those TP rotations.
Haste rune on Thug. If he connects with an Astral, it could be the end. But LFY, they actually have Global
Strike already up. They're going to be able to catch. Oh, no, the missed impale from Skylark. He still managed to get away, it looks like. The arrow comes out. Ursa holds, but actually nails Zhao Wei. They're going to be able to translate a kill onto Yao into a kill on Zhao Wei as well. And FINEM locking down the Roshan. They are giving absolutely no holes in their game plan when it comes to defending this bottom lane. Now, a rotation out from FINEM up to the top lane. Thug is going to be able to get the imprisonment. Rubik's going to be able to follow that one up. The full force of FINEM is here, but no! A global silence is forced, at least.
Definitely worth it. 4 TPs for a global silence, and he sees 4 heroes up there. He immediately goes to Roche.
This time around,
pinging so
and
crazily.
licensed up to these arrow plays. He's going to put himself behind Roshan.
Maybe next time he's in there alone. Zhao 8 hot on his trail looking for the lasso.
Maybe next time he's going to try and leap himself away. Zhao 8 hot on his trail, but it looks like they've given enough space for this Ursa to be able to finish up Roshan finally. The arrow comes out, not going to land on anybody. Rubik comes forward and actually going to be tagged by Yao. There is an imprisonment save. Madara is going to try and slow down Yao. They actually push forward, trying to get the impale. They land it. That'll be a kill. LFY. They responded really well with that global silence, with the mass rotations up the top lane, immediately translating that into an Aegis for themselves, but FINEM still find at least a Pickoff in Yao. This Blink Dagger is going to be so slowed down for the Sand King. Not for End, though. Mask of Madness phase boots into a straight-up Blink Dagger. He's planning to be the main initiator for LFY in these next few minutes when Yao cannot.
Yeah, remember when Madara was walking back and he said, yeah, this is probably pretty good for the Rubik. Rubik's actually had a pretty good game. Spartan, we've just seen bare bones items on him this game, but he has arcane boots already. They've gotten a lot of towers, and he's gotten a lot of experience. So he can actually make a lot of plays this game instead of just maybe shot calling and
Ursa
being the sacrificial
up.
support.
They have an Aegis. They're ready to go. Zhao Wei kind of baiting things out. And, oh, yeah, it actually doesn't blink forward. Misses the clap. Now he's going to be Burrow struck up. Impaled as well. They still have a telekinesis. Bye-bye Aegis. And maybe bye-bye Zhao Wei as well. Skylark managed to hold him up with the spike carapace. A blink away by End will allow him to escape from that precarious position, but Zhao Wei will not be as lucky.
Spartan just in the right place at the right time. Ursa was counting on that lasso. to connect in order to be able to hit the Mirana, but he just lifted him right at that precise moment that Ursa was committing.
They immediately set up, they get a kill in bottom lane, and then bam, they TP up to the top lane with this Infest combination. This time around, Super, I don't think you're going to be able to escape. Even with the global silence, an arrow will nail him, finishing him off. Maybe next time, claims the head of the Alchemist.
So much unreliable gold lost there too. He's already picked up his Radiance recipe because he probably expected to die at that last engagement. So just, you know, if he has Relic, not that big a loss, but because he was sitting at 1,500 gold, 1534 to be exact.
Look at that, the global silence came up just like a second too late. It's possible that if that gank was just a little bit later, maybe the silencer stops that impale and the whole entire gank goes awry because of that.
Yeah, they need this Alchemist to get Radiance up. It's been a disaster with the Batrider just constantly dying to the Nyx Assassin and the Roshan shenanigans, just taking way too long for it and to claim that Aegis.
A scouting arrow by maybe next time will clear the fact that Madara is able to take the tier 1 tower for free.
And Thug's also getting big. He is the #1 net worth hero.
Yes, he is.
Maybe next time, very impressive game from him thus far. He hasn't been really good with his arrows. I would actually say his leaps have been much better this game too. He's always like pulling LFY. They want to go on to Mirana, but they just can't. But now that Global Silence is online, he has to be especially careful about how long he holds that cooldown.
Counter ward not quite in place. And LFY probably scouted that one out. The Roshan ward still up. So that may be a bit of lost vision for FINEM, but they are going to try and play into this top lane. I think they know about the Nyx Assassin.
Dire has used scan, it will hit red.
Yeah,
Skylark.
but they don't have any counter vision up. There's only the silencer with counter wards down. So unless Skylark runs into this, which he is right now, they're going to be able to jump into him, and all of a sudden he's carrying this payload. Madara is saying, what the hell did you get me into, Skylark? He rages himself up, but he can't really TP out fast enough. Zhao Wei is there with the lasso ready to go. Moonlight Shadow comes out. Arrow does nail in. They are going to throw out the unstable concoction. That'll catch Madara in the end. They'll be able to get the burrow strike, but an imprisonment is there. Can FINEM actually save this hero, though? They're going to try. Skylark already buying back. They manage to get the lasso onto Madara. They do manage to finish up, and in return, Ed's going to be picked up at the telekinesis and brought down. Now on the side, nailed by the arrow. Burrow strike picked up by Smart. Double bounce around. It's a bouncing ball. Sand King up and down, but he falls in the end. 15-6 now. FINEM with that buyback, and the plays from their OD do manage to turn that whole entire chase to their favor.
Defensive Astral just ruins ganks like that, and Spartan casts one too many spells. Is he going to be saved again by a defensive Astral? Oh my goodness, the last tick takes him down to 15 HP.
LFY, they've missed out on a couple kills like that. Look at that again, the imprisonment. LFY make the judgment. They're still going to go for this kill, but between the imprisonment, bounce back damage, and then the nukes that come in, even as they kill Madara, it's clearly not worth that exchange. Bottom lane, we already see a pickup on Zhao Wei. Skylark manages to catch him with the spike carapace into the fly. Batrider does pick up his blink dagger, though. A little bit of a silver lining in this very dark cloud of a game for LFY in Game 3.
They have to combo with the Global Silence. I think that's their best shot right now. You blink lasso someone before the OD can react, before Nyx can pop his Spike Carapace, and then you can also channel Epicenter at the same time. No one's going to be able to stop you. There's no Yules. That's the only thing that can stop them unless they can get out of the Global Silence, which is nada at this moment. No BKBs, no Lotuses, nothing like that.
Yeah, that really is a big upside, right? LFY have such amazing teamfight power that they don't even necessarily need the Blink Dagger on Yao to be able to make a successful initiation, thanks to that Global Silence. They have the Zhao Wei Blink Dagger, and they're going to try and put a stop to Madara. Now, he's up here in the top lane. His spidey senses kind of seem to be tingling. Doesn't want to push too far out into that lane, but he may still be caught. He has an infest, and they have that tier 1 tower up. So if he rages, if he infests, but he's not fast enough for either one. Does manage to get the lasso, and with that Ursa just bullying him down. No opportunity for counterplay from FINEM.
And finally buying time for Super, but Super, being the conservative player as he is, does not want to push out this T2. And we thought the Radiance was late last game, but this game, it's 19 minutes, and he's still 900 gold away.
They're actually going to try and jump on. Oh, they're thinking about it, but now they see a TP. They had Burrow Strike, Telekinesis. They could have given OD a lot of time to beat on Super, but he backs up.
Just need a couple more minutes for this Radiance to finally come up, and then they can start split pushing and stop this Ad Finum train from rolling them in their own jungle.
Man, Skylark's got a blink dagger of his own, so he is actually positioning himself so he can get some vision and potentially make the blink initiation on any hero that gets too close to this tier 2. You can even see them setting up with this scan, seeing if they can find such hero. It goes red, they back away.
Skylark's potentially trying to pop a smoke too close to the secret shot. Madara helping in there. Where are they going to go? Where is this Alchemist?
They did see Madara, thanks to this mid ward, move over to the right-hand side. I don't think they saw him invest inside Skylark, though. It may still be caught by surprise. Skylark looking for his opening. It is nighttime, though. They're going to have a whole lot harder time finding that solo Pickoff.
Yeah, if DDC managed to get the global silence before the stun onto him, it could potentially be a disaster, considering how close he is to the T2 tower. And Alchemist finally, 37.79, just needs to wait about 10 more seconds patiently for old Fluffy.
Yeah, the ward counter ward combination, they were already drawing preemptively. Yeah, I was drawing it. They said, hey, they're going to come up through here. They are confirmed by that. The odds counter word combination does see the payload coming in. And nobody's going to be caught by that.
And Super says, finally, I got my Radiance. Now the game can actually start for him.
Breeze a little bit of a sigh of relief, but then again, we saw the way that LFY were able to keep an Alchemist who had Radiance down and preventing him from getting that Manta, right? Because it's not until you have Manta, Boots of Travel, and Octarine where you're really able to get that pure split push Alchemist to the front.
They want him to get involved though. The Radiance is a big deal because now they actually want to kill him early on in the fights. Before you can just like ignore him, he doesn't do any damage. But if you don't kill him and then they global silence and then he regens up, you could you could get 4 or 5 man white. So this Radiance puts a lot more pressure on Ad Finum to deal with the global.
That was a close one, Yao. That would have been a very unfortunate start to a team fight.
So Skylark, they don't have a sentry ward on the left side. They have one on the right side, but oh, actually, they do have one, but I don't know if it's going to catch out Skylark from where he wants to approach.
Yeah,
he's going in a little bit deep.
It's nighttime. They may not have the actual vision if he cuts far enough behind.
You have to respect the global silence. That is something that you do not really want to take a fight right there. Like outside the T2, sure, but outside the T3 against global, that's just asking for a wipe.
Yeah, and that's why Ad Finum will show a bit of caution. They may be an aggressive team, but they're not done. They will back themselves away from a trap being set by LFY. Nice arrow that nails onto Yao, but that's more information than an opportunity for a kill.
And now Roshan is almost up too. And Ad Finum, they're playing the longer game too. Mirana's kind of taking a step back and farming up her Ags. And then OD's going for the BKB. They need him to deal with the global silence.
There's that Sandstorm steal. So Spartan, hoping for a Burrow Strike, won't be able to grab that one. Maybe next time, though. This guy, he was so disruptive in the beginning of the game, and he also has an Aghanim Scepter already. Yeah. Speaking of items, there's a Desolator.
Yes, he does. And the Blink on Rubik. Like, Rubik is number, 4th to last on net worth, which is very surprising. Like, usually he's just 9th or 10th by a good margin. And right now he's keeping on pace with Xiao 8 and well ahead of Yao.
Yao is really the true forward position of LFY at this point. He is beginning to get a Blink Dagger. It looks like everyone on both sides are going to get some pretty important items within the next few minutes. Blink Dagger for the Sand King. We also have a BKB that is coming up for End as well. Alchemist, always an item that's in his near future. Meanwhile, on the Ad Finum side, we have a BKB that's going to be attempted by Thug. He's already got 2 of the components if he wants it. Fresh Desolator on the Lifestealer, so he's already hitting that power spike. And then a Aghanim Scepter coming in for maybe next time. So both these teams are actually going to hit a huge spike in their various abilities around this 25-minute marker. It all just comes down to then the initiation, which is kind of in the favor of LFY, right? They've got both a Sand King and a Bat Rider.
If Ad Finum want to be able to win a team fight, they need to blow someone up instantly. You have to blink, carapace, and impale, and also pop out infest and rage open wounds at almost the exact same time. If you can get all those spells off before the global silence, it's actually not going to be that big of a deal. But if they don't cast any of those spells, like if he's in mid-cast impale and you cast a global silence, they will lose the fight very, very badly. And they also have the BKB up on OT, so it doesn't affect him so much relative to the other heroes. But
Madara. He's finally pops out. He's going to try and bring down this tier 2 tower. They scout with an arrow just to see if they can catch Bat Rider. But LFY will give up on this tier 2. They've kind of bought themselves enough time. They seem to have slowed down FINEM with their super defensive play. Nothing really has happened much when it comes to action, but that's on LFY's good side, right? They want to be able to play defensive enough that it kind of slows down FINEM, and next thing you know, they've got an Alchemist with a Manta.
Oh, they're actually starting on Roche.
Yeah,
very bold play considering the team fight coming out from LFY. They do have a smoke available on Mirana. No heroes are showing it for LFY, but if N shows on this top, I think that's good. They're so happy.
Yeah.
He's just showed on the top lane.
Yeah, they absolutely guesstimated perfect timing to go ahead and do Roshan. There's so much of this defensive vision from LFY, but nothing that's going to be able to scout out this Roshan attempt. I want to point out, I'm not sure if we saw this, but there was this Observer Ward blocking out the Ancients and also giving a bit of vision in the Secret Shop area. That Observer Ward lasted the whole entire time. So that's a whole entire 6 minutes where the Ancients was not able to be farmed by the Alchemist.
And maybe next time showing off his Ags in the mid lane as he creeps it up. And this might actually mislead LFY to as where FINEM is. They're way in deep.
Oh, they're going to be able to catch him already. Leading with the telekinesis. Global Silence goes down, though, and N will have his opportunity to pop the Enrage, but it is blown. Thug also pops his BKB, anticipating some action. Arrow misses, but N is still dead. And FINEM secured that kill 100% with the BKB usage, stopping N from being able to get away during his Enrage. Global Silence now being countered by FINEM.
And they just totally misled them with that smoke. With maybe next time, he's a big damage dealer with the Axe now. And they thought, oh, he's showing a mid that are likely behind him or close to him, but they were 2 screens away and just jumped in and now looking very comfortable. Sieging high ground against Sand King. Can they keep their eyes on him? Probably not, considering he's smoked behind their racks.
This initiation is so key for LFY. They've got that Blink Dagger for Yao, but the Blink first comes out. They manage to get the telekinesis into the arrow, into the pullback. Now the Epicenter comes through. A 2-man Burrow Strike. Did he just manage to turn this one around? Yao's going to be brought low. Sandstorm's up. He's actually living, and the rest of FINEM are on the retreat. They've lost their ages, and LFY, they have the Ursa up in just a moment. Can they actually catch this hero? They will. Burrow striking him up, slowing him down. He pops the rage, but here comes the Ursa. He manages to almost get that life stealer. He infests inside, but they're going to wait. They're going to wait until that creep is low, and I think life stealer, his life is going to come to an end here. They deny real quick. They know it's one of those 2 creeps. They deny the other one. He pops out now, tries to run himself in the trees, but he just can't quite make it. That's 4 down from FINEM, and an Aegis gone.
Oh, yeah, making the play over there. He even got revealed in the smoke, but I think FINEM's screen were just all in on their target, closer to the racks, and probably just a little bit off to that far right side of the map. And they just got destroyed by that Epicenter. So
yeah,
looks like they initiate on the Batrider, but they don't see Yao in the corner to challenge Zebi. They ping him out. Spartan pings him out, but then Thug.
You could see Madara try to get to him, to somehow, actually get to him in time and stop that Blink, but he managed to complete it, and that Burrow Strike brings the game back for LFY. What a beautiful play.
Yeah, that would have been such a much different fight if he didn't get that out. And that was without the global. So
yeah.
Like LFY, as stated before, their team fight is much more formidable. And Alchemist, he survived that fight. He is farming up very well now.
FINEM doesn't look like they're going to slow down this game. Actually, whoa, TP. Madara doesn't actually complete it. Double Blink Daggers being picked up, though. Maybe next time he still managed to progress and farm. Now that he has that big farming item, the Aghanim Scepter, other items are sure to come pretty quick. So a Blink for him, and a Blink also for our OD. Mobility seems to be key for FINEM to be able to get the initiation. You say LFY have the better team fight. Well, in that case, FINEM need to even out the initiation factor. See if they can actually get the quick pickoff that allows them to win a fight on the offensive.
On top of that, they may need to reconsider who they give the Aegis to. Last time it was on the Lifestealer, but Lifestealer, he's a good, decent 3K behind the OD, and I think OD is just a much more important hero, but they're probably like, he has BKB, he's probably not going to die, but we saw what happened last fight. Yao
does manage to get away from that push out in the top lane. Maybe next time. Not able to catch him. This will be a forfeit of a tier 2, but it looks like very likely Super can claim the tier 1 at bottom lane. I'm not sure if FINEM can move fast enough for that one, considering how low the tier 1 is.
Skylark just waiting for someone to peek out behind that T2 tower.
I don't know, it kind of looks like they're setting up for it. Thug's actually going back for a TP scroll right now, and sure enough, there they are. They're going to try and blink in, see if they can get a catch somehow with their blink daggers, but it's just not going to happen. Even that outer tower, which was in deny range this whole entire time, and FINEM do not want to give any semblance of map control to LFY.
I think Super will be happy with that. That means he can pretty much farm the top half of the map for a good 20, 30 seconds, and then now he has Mantis House, so he can push the bottom lane without fear of dying. And he is crawling up there in a net worth chart. And speaking of net worth, the graph just 3,500-ish in favor of FINEM. Still a pretty decent lead for them, but because we think the team fight of LFY is stronger, it's still anyone's game.
Especially since they actually have quite a number of Aghanims to give away. Even the Ursa is a really decent Aghanims upgrade.
Yeah, I also like it on the silencer because just being able to cancel everyone's blink through the silence is also very useful.
18-11 right now. Alchemist may be the top net worth at 16,000, but there are 3 members of FINEM hot on his tail. So this isn't necessarily just a race to beat the Alchemist's farm.
And Mirana, let's see if they walk by the illusion. It doesn't get blocked at all, so no pinging will come out there. But they're grouped up around the T1 in the mid lane, expecting a smoke. Dire has used scan. No one over there.
They really don't have a whole lot of aggressive vision. There's so many counter wards laid down by LFY. It seems to be very important for them to make sure there is no vision advantage for FINEM when they go near these high ground pushes. So all this counter vision is actually making sure that FINEM, they really didn't have a whole lot of information. I'm not sure how they knew this smoke was coming, but they did make the correct read, dodge the smoke, and now it's their opportunity to push out as they see... actually, have they seen anybody at top lane? Maybe just these illusions to the Alchemist. Even if they move top now, it's going to be far too late. LFY staying grouped up and on the conservative side.
And they're not too worried about this pace, just because LFY haven't really gotten any pickoffs. Like, it's not like OD and Lifestealer have been lassoed into an Ursa burst anytime. So as long as they're not losing their cores, and maybe next time is keeping up in the net worth, he's like very close to the Lifestealer, very impressive farming. He's above end at this point. So like once he get like his Yules is going to be up his item next, maybe he wants to be the one to interrupt the sinking epicenter next time. Yeah,
he can this Yules Scepter set himself up sometime soon. Here comes the push once again at bottom lane.
It also gets him out of the global silence, and it can counter the Batrider initiation before the BKB.
Oh man, each time they are actually trying to stop these pushes. They are still going to contest here. Jump forward, Spartan is going to be the target, but a BKB comes out from Thug. Couldn't actually save it, but he's targeted by Zhao Wei. But this lasso is just going to be the death of Zhao Wei. It is the rest of LFY trying back out, but Super stunned himself with the unstable concoction. A stolen acid spray will allow them to easily clean up that kill. A third one picked up by maybe next time in a dominating spree. 21-11, and finally FINEM. They couldn't really seem to get the wheels rolling, but...
Skylark, he's ticking down to the curse.
My
he's
goodness.
so low.
No!
Another Astral.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah. And this fight's all from Thug again. Thug pops the BKB, immediately casts the Astral on the target that's focused down. So Global Silence is rendered fairly useless at this point because it's not like they have a lot of AoE spread damage when they're not initiating with the Sand King, they're initiating with the Batrider, and that just makes it super easy for FINEM to counterplay that.
LFY were stalling out FINEM for so long, giving themselves a grace period, but now FINEM do manage to strike hard enough to force a buyback out of the Alchemist, and a tier 3 tower goes down as well.
Kind of cute that LFY is rocking the EGTP inside their base.
They are going to be able to stay alive for a bit longer. But again, you keep pointing this out, right? FINEM are not too concerned about the game going late, right? They are still keeping up in farm on 3 of their cores.
Yeah, I like the Mirana's play. He's been playing very, very safely. So, yeah, BKB, defensive Astral on the Rubik, and then what exactly are they going to do? Xiao Wei doesn't even have Firefly when he goes for his lasso. He's just trying to stop this OD from doing whatever damage he can. But with the stun on the Alchemist, he is just out in no man's land, and maybe next time has evolved into a very strong core as he picks off the 3rd hero.
Yeah, it seems like Xiao Wei maybe tried to play a little bit more like a sacrificial role, just trying to jump in, lasso, and allow the rest of his teammates to escape. But unfortunately, Super, with that unstable concoction, stunning himself like that, he was just left out for the vultures.
Yeah, a lot of it was because of Astral. He's like, oh, okay, great, free kill on Rubik. Oh, wait, there's no target for me. He's Astral. OD is the BKB'd. There's a Rage Lifestealer, so he has no choice but to stun himself, unless you get a perfect Manta timing. And the ping out Roshan. And he would have loved to get the third Aegis, but at FINEM, sweep in there. This might be one of LFY's last chance to contest at FINEM.
Yeah, especially with this Lincoln's being built by the OD. That will really put a wrench in the plans of LFY as they need that hard initiation to be able to catch this OD and bring down this damage dealer. But
they don't even have a smoke on LFY. There is no way that they can make this contest.
They just can't, between the combination of Gem, Vision from Skylark, and no smokes from LFY.
And they put it on OD, or sorry, they put it on Lifestealer. So OD, he still can get bursted down. He's the hero that you want to Epicenter into Burrow Strike, into Global Silence, because no one can really save him if he gets focused down. So that's what you're looking for if you're LFY. Burst down the OD. If he buys back, you are happy with generally the results after.
Presumably, though, when it comes to a high ground defense, Madara is going to be way out in front, right? The OD will be far enough back that he shouldn't be caught. They're actually going to just straight up initiate onto Madara as he goes into the high ground, force him to a rage, and will manage to grab him with the lasso. The pullback, Firefly not being used because they didn't want to stop by Spike Carapace. Madara is now all the way back behind the tier 4 towers, has to Manta himself in order to get away with the help of the Moonlight Shadow. They will lose both the Rubik and the Nyx Assassin with this Lifestealer almost going down. It's a little bit of curse. In fact, he's being chased still by the Alchemist, but looks like he's going to be far enough ahead.
And this Ursa is still very, very strong. And with a very respectable score of 4-2 and 4, he just crushed the Nyx Assassin. They lost a gem in the process, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot the Nyx Assassin had that at him, so that is rather rough for Adfin. Unfortunately, they didn't have too much vision down beforehand, so they're not going to lose too much, but giving up that gem is going to mean a lot. They need to be able to take away all that defensive vision of LFY. They won't be able to do that for another 5 minutes with the gem still not in stock.
They need a Lotus Orb from Lincolns. One of the fallen teams today, NP, they often go for like multiple Lincolns when they seize high ground with a strong core. So they just like double Lincolns to Lifestealer as he goes up. He rages. You can't do anything to him. You can't Abyssal him later on when the Ursa gets it. You can't lasso him.
So you think maybe wait for the Lincolns on Thug before you go high ground again?
Or you get Lotus Orb. I think one of those two is really, really important. It makes the jump way harder for LFY. And right now, they're like global. It takes a second for you to like pop your BKB and then defensively react with the Astral Imprisonment. And by that time, someone might have already died to the Ursa.
Madara, let's see if he's a little bit quicker on the fingers here as they look to go high ground once again. Global Silence is down for 35 seconds. That will be a bit of a boost. Unstable Concoction coming out. Rage going to be popped nice and early. That's a good sign for LFY, but can they actually hold without that big team fighting ability? Adfin might be able to make the initiation too. They're all smoked up in the background. It's going to wear out though.
And look for the arrow by, on the back line.
There's the jump forward. They actually managed to blow up the Rubik immediately. Now Yao's going to be targeted with the Dagon, but does manage to force himself over the cliff. Thug comes forward. They do manage to get that kill. The Aegis is gone for the Lifestealer as well. He's going to come back. And LFY are not going to fight just yet. Yule Scepter into an arrow here. It's going to come a little bit late, but it'll end instead. They actually try and go for super, now turn on end, but he pops the enrage. He'll be okay. The two Lifesteal Illusions will be the target of an unstable concoction. While the rest of FINEM focus on that melee Rax. LFY forced back to the fountain, will concede this melee Rax for now.
And the range looks like will fall. So yeah, the Global Silence they hit in that 30-second window. That was a tough one to nail, and they committed their BKBs for a Rubik kill very early on in the fight.
Yeah, that was just, I mean, Rubik's been doing good, but is that really worth that kind of hard initiation, Ben?
Without the BKBs, I think it would have been okay, but clearly they didn't want any counterplay from like the Nyx Assassin blink in with a two-man stun.
Right.
But they'll take what they can get. It's also just unexpected. Like Thug is looking for the Astral on one of the big cores, like Lifestealer and or Nyx and or Mirana. Like the Rubik's probably the least of his concerns at the moment.
Zhao Wade is trying to build into a BKB. He needs this item real badly as he can't really pop Firefly when it comes to initiation. Otherwise, he may just be counter-blinked on by the Nyx Assassin with that Spike Carapace. So he can't really use Firefly until he has that magic immunity. A big upgrade in both damage and disable for the OD as he's got a Scythe of Ice.
That's really bad for Ursa and pretty much for anyone else with a BKB on their team.
Yeah. especially with the burst damage that maybe next time's racking up. A support turned core as he is now ahead of Lifestealer with a Dagon 3.
And Alchemist building up for Shiva's guard. It will help him versus the Lifestealer, but still the OD hits very, very hard at the moment. No Moon Shard on Thug just yet, so he's not really like that big of a threat. He's not going to kill people in like 2 or 3 seconds, but you know, longer fight goes on, more Sanity's Eclipse. We haven't seen a big one yet, but with these BKBs slowly wearing down on the Dire side,
another potential game-ending push being set up by FINEM here.
Oh, he misses the Manta dodge, and Alchemist is stunned up, but no arrow, nothing else to follow it up.
Yeah, maybe it's, do you think FINEM, again, feel like they can go later? Feel like maybe they should wait for Roshan number 3 or 4?
I think with the way the last fight went, I think you should. You're already 1 racks up, although against an Alchemist, Alchemist doesn't really care too much about a racks being down, but I don't know. If you wait too long, the Batrider BKB is going to come out. I say it's much safer to just wait for the Aegis cheese, and then you can give both to the Lifestealer if you want.
It seems like the Greeks kind of agree, and now if they get the right kind of pick-off with this combination of Skylark and Madara, then they could go ahead and go high ground, but until that happens, they will play it safe with 1 lane of racks up. They're also lacking that gem that we were talking about earlier. Looks like they may try and just go for... Any hero going to pop out? No.
Yeah, if they had the gem, I would think that they could push high ground, but because they don't have the gem, they have to like, rely on arrow, rely on like a blink lift from Rubik, who'll probably immediately perish. Yeah. So it's very risky for them to go into this because the Nyx is a huge wild card with gem in play.
The creeps are pushing in pretty deep into this base. LFY still not showing anybody. Maybe next time. Very clearly had some alarm bells ringing in his head. Even popping the Moonlight Shadow just in case, a scouting arrow. But he will finally see members of LFY showing back up inside their base.
They don't have any safe way to push out the lanes. Like the Lifestealer is still threatened by like a Sand King into an Ursa double blink initiation. So like because the lanes can't be pushed out, FINEM have to play very, very safely.
Oh, Spartan's not going to make it out. That TP almost complete, but Yao catches him first. So that will be a pick-off. That smoke, and it's for a 5 position Rubik. They actually going to try and save him. Look at him. Thug's coming forward with the imprisonment, but now he just gives himself up. He pulls himself into 5 members of LFY. A global silence goes down because they expect so much more. Madara will be forced into a Manta and starts running himself away. Can he actually be caught here? LFY give up on the chase. Back to base they go. A Rubik kill, a simple Rubik kill. And FINEM commit the OD to try and save him, and that actually turns into a really big kill. I mean, I'm sure LFY are probably sitting there going, oh, that smoke for a Rubik, like lame, that's not worth it at all. But all of a sudden,
yeah, OD shows up. That's not really worth it for him. Maybe with a Linkens he can, because he won't get lasso. He could just like perhaps BKB and TP out and hope he doesn't get bashed. But yeah, he's not happy about that one. He's like, why did I go in there? Save your teammate syndrome? Anyone?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So that kill will give a bit of boost here to LFY as that gold net worth lead was topping out about 7,500, but it's going to start dipping down. Alchemist is beginning to get that fully 6-slotted. He's got Shivas, he's got BKB, Manta. We start thinking about some Aghanim Scepters here, Ben, or maybe some upgrades on some of the current items.
I think an Ags for the Ursa would be pretty good, just because he can use it to burst someone down immediately.
Yeah, we don't have any silences here on FINEM, so, well, we've got the Scythe device, but all those other stuns, he's going to be able to pop the Enrage during that, won't have to worry about the combination of stuns.
Yeah, I like it just because you can use it offensively instead of generally defensively. What a cute courier.
Very cute indeed from the defense. What else do we got here? Any other incoming items? Skylark's actually sitting on a point booster in 1,600 gold. That Nyx Assassin Aghanim's upgrade, that'll be another big swing up for FINEM, but it's kind of hard to use that Aghanim Scepter when it comes to an offensive push, right? You kind of have to set yourself up near the tier 3 tower just outside the range, but you're still susceptible to this Batrider pullback just as easily.
Yeah, I think that's really what's been crushing him in the teamfight is the global and the Batrider ulti. So I think like much similar to how I think the game versus LGD progressed. Like they need to itemize more against the global silence. Lotus Orbs, Lincoln Spheres, like these are really good versus the Batrider. And right now, like Xiaowei has had a kind of a tough game, but he's still making some really game-breaking lassos that are crushing Advenom. For example, the one that just happened on the Outward Devour. But luckily for Advenom, it wasn't that close to the Roshan respawn timer. It is about 30 seconds away until the minimum respawn. Time until Roshan's respawn, 0 minutes.
So my question, Ben, is we have all these potential items coming up, but do you think any of them are more important than holding on to buyback? Is that BKB more important? Is that confirmed initiation more important than having a second life on a Batrider?
On the Batrider?
Yeah. Because at the same time, if you go in and you don't have that BKB and you make the lasso play, then what's the use of buying back, right?
Yeah,
Say
I
you
think
get stunned, it's
it.
like, okay.
For Advenom, I'm not sure. Like, if they have the items, they can just tank they can probably not get lassoed, but it's much safer, I would say, to, I don't know, they don't have any BOTs. I think everyone in this game should just spend their items so you can contest the next Roche. If you, don't commit to that fight and you, don't win that Roche because you're you don't have I don't know, maybe a little bit of int for OD or maybe a little bit of armor for the Lifestealer, and you lose that fight and then you lose Aegis and Roche, you'll be kicking yourself.
An AC on the way for our Lifestealer, rather big upgrade in damage. He still has yet to pick up the Abyssal Blade. That's really where the Lifestealer starts peaking out.
Okay, here we go. LFY, 50 seconds left on the OD's death. About 30 seconds until the minimum possible Roshan respawn timer. LFY trying to wrest control from Advenom over the Roshan pit. And
here comes that Aghanim Scepter.
There's no wards.
Yao's actually sitting in place here. He will be the first Aghanim Scepter given away.
Double range on stun, really good. And so he's been unable to farm this game, so doesn't even have an Aether Lens in his pocket.
The Abyssal Blade that we were just talking about for the Lifestealer, that item is about to be picked up by the Ursa quite soon, and that means in a man fight, right? Ursa's already winning, but when he gets that Abyssal Blade, he will have a much, much higher success rate when it comes to combining the blink initiations of Yao, jump in with him, gobble up a hero, but who's the target? If you're looking at initiating for LFY, you see Advenom moving forward his 5. What do you do?
Depends on where OD's position is. If he's too close, you go on him. If he's too far away, you go on the Lifestealer. Either one's okay.
So Advenom kind of have to play this very, very special game where OD has to be close enough to be able to save the Lifestealer. If he's potentially initiated on lasso, pulled back to the tier 4s, he needs to be able to provide that save, but at the same time not be close enough that he's jumped on by the SK with now an Aghanim Scepter to his name, by the Blink Dagger Abyssal Blade of the Ursa. Yes, Moo and Fugs, the whole world is here to see the love between you two. I'm glad that's what we have to bide our time during this brief pause in this Game 3 of Advenom and LFY. The last game of the day to determine which one of these two teams is going to be moving into the semi-final.
I was looking at Xiaowei's effigy. Golden effigy of Juggernaut in midair. Ancient Black Dragon, quite toothy he is.
Yep, no longer the goofy that he once was. Got a nice little upgrade. All right. We're going back into the game.
They're ready.
We'll see if that it actually holds, though. Is this going to be the final pause? We're about to find out. LFY looking good.
So
Things
dramatic.
are golden.
Drum roll, please.
All right, the Abyssal Blade completed out. This means no buyback for N. So he agrees with you, Ben. Buy out all these items.
Yeah.
Commit for a final fight potentially around this Roshan, but it's going to be a late Roshan. So he may still have the time to farm up a buyback.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Wow, that is almost max. But I think with Abyssal Blade, it lends more reason to build like a Lotus/Lincoln Sphere, and I'm very surprised that there's none on the side of Advenom. Like the cores have to feel so scared about just getting Abyssal and bursted down by the Ursa. Ursa does a lot of damage right now. He hasn't died in a very, very long time.
A fresh gem and a Nyx Assassin with the Lifestealer inside of him are scouting things out. Now there's this laning ward in the bottom lane. There is also a Roshan ward, but there's Also, on top of everything else, 5 members of LFY sitting around the Ancients. Now, they don't know this. We, of course, know it's not going to be another 2 minutes, but this staging may boil into a break. They actually get the initiation. Telekinesis onto the Batrider to try and get a jump first onto him. That's going to be the Sand King inside the pit down, but at the same time, Lifestealer, he's on the wrong side of a cliff. He will be saved by imprisonment. He's going to be able to come back out. He has a vest ready to go. He does manage to turn. He's going to fight up to end. They manage to steal the lasso. They're going to be able to pop him. Abyssal Blade goes down a 4-stab, manages to save up Madara on the left-hand side. An imprisonment from the OD buys himself time, is now an unstable concocted. Super will go down. Once again, he dies to his own stun. 4 down from LFY, a buyback only on the Alchemist.
That fight could have gone so close either way. Thug, I think, made the big plays. The camera was on the right side, but I was watching Thug the entire time on the left side. Firstly, he had the defensive Astral on a Lifestealer. He was about to die. He had no rage. There was no one close to him to infest. And then he baited them out. They didn't realize that the cheese was on him, and they committed so much to him. And then on top of that, he made Super stun himself with an unstable concoction towards the end of the fight. Masterfully played by the Outworld Devourer.
And this is looking like a second lane of racks. 10 seconds till the Batrider, but no lasso for 13. Alchemist is actually going to try and charge forward. They go straight for the OD, and they manage to snag Thug. They're going to be able to bring him down. The stun comes out for the Impale. They manage to catch N and has to pop his own BKB. Nice double stun from Yao. That'll stun up Madara, but they still manage to get a good silence on the Super. Xiao Wei dropping low. Maybe next time comes in, finish him off. The nukes are there. Super battling it up, and Epicenter comes in. Madara still raged. He didn't hit the stun, and Infest pop out. Unstable concoction, arrow blocked in. Maybe next time jump forward. They finish off Yao. A push forward. Super stuck in the trees. He's impaled. He's down. LFY are gone. Game 3 is out finished for the taking.
Damn, Spartan is so happy. And this was by far the best performance that I've seen from him on the main stage, on that Rubik. He was the first person to telekinesis Xiao 8, the leader of LFY, and the last of the Chinese have fallen.
The analysts looked at FINEM. They said this could be their tournament to make a strong showing. And FINEM indeed, till the end, FINEM head to the last day.
And tomorrow they will square off against DC, but now they can revel in their victory.
They're
so happy.
You said that last fight was so close. There were so many elements in the draft that came in, both Game 1 and Game 2. Oh, Spartan.
It's another thing completely when, you know, he's usually pretty happy, but imagine when you're happy and you played very, very well in the game. Oh, man.
LGD don't even know what's happening.
It looks like Spartan lost.
It does. He put everything he had into that game, as did the rest of FINEM.
And they've come so far from qualifier team to top 4.
From a team, London Conspiracy, from a Greek squad, from a country that really wasn't represented in Dota. They formed a 5-man squad, went through constant tournament after tournament with minimum roster changes. They finally found a core group they wanted, stuck through TI. They come back after TI and make it to the end of Boston Major. This seems to be a Cinderella story for this Greek crew.
I'm sure it helps a lot that the crowd's behind them. But a couple of our panel members, and not the whole entire panel, was behind FINEM. Why not? Why can't you get behind this team?
I mean, I'm sure they can now. There's definitely no criticism to be held for doubting FINEM. They came in as underdogs. We framed it as such. There's no doubt about it. And, I mean, we can't even talk about underestimating them. This is just a story that keeps on giving. FINEM are in the last day of the Boston Major, the biggest tournament that they've ever attended as a unit. They stick together through thick and thin. It's quite a romantic story.
It's a happy to be proven wrong scenario. These guys are incredible.
Yeah, I think everyone's behind FINEM, at least over here. Yeah. I think they've definitely, on the international stage, proven quite the heroes for themselves. I think everyone loves to be able to see an underdog succeed, and this is absolutely the underdog story.
Yeah, it's human nature at its core, right, Ben? I mean, it's literally just we love to see the underdogs succeed.
I mean, they better stop soon, or if they win, they're going to own all of Greece. Did really well.
They really well. Right, I'm going to throw it to the panel, boys. That was an awesome way to end the day. Ad FINEM, we have to start with Ted, who's been a believer since the very start.
Alex. I knew this was going to happen, baby. Didn't I say it right here? Ad FINEM! They're going to win the whole blooming thing.
Now you've got 2 of those now.
The battle of
That's how much you believe.
Geometry, philosophy, the Olympics, and now this. No problem, they've cracked it.
The Boston Major, representing their nation. They knock out Chinese LGD.FY. They're in the semi-finals of the Major. A $3 million event.
Winter was loving it, weren't you? We were blaming each other. I told you they'd win, baby.
That silence tells it all. Oh, yes, the analytical eyes of Winter were casting his gaze upon this game, and it was, I mean, it always sounds cliche, but to and fro, back and forth.
There they are.
They've got themselves the flag.
Well, they deserve everything they get. The semi-final, at the very least, they've been phenomenal, exciting. The whole crowd is loving them. I mean, if you're watching at home, I'm sure you're rooting for them, unless you're, Zhao 8 fan, Winter. He almost did it.
But doesn't that make the victory oh so sweeter? Taking down, these are newer names, taking down one of the more fabled names of the Dota scene. It's wonderful. We will be breaking this down, but it would be foolish to not go ahead and capture some of that excitement as we do head to the stage. And it doesn't look like it's just one man for this interview. There's a whole lot of Greeks on that stage to celebrate.
Madara! Woo! Oh, the son of the crowd favorite! There we go! The unkillable man, sir. Talk to these new fans you have here.
All right. First of all, hello guys. I'm really happy we did it. I don't know what to say. I'm just really happy. That's all.
Thank you. Whew. I haven't had to wait so long in a long time. You guys are amazing. All right. How can anyone even possibly touch, let alone kill you in game 1 as that Morphling? Did you feel like you were invincible?
Yeah. Only Black Hole could kill me, and maybe Spartan. Because he did it once.
I want to talk to you about maybe next time in that game. Zhao pulled out his famous Enigma. He has such a high win rate on it. Did you tell him to go and be a dick to him in his jungle and mess with him, or was that just what he does?
Yeah, we were like, just go into his jungle, don't let him farm, and that's it. Yeah. He fucked him up, I guess.
All right, fantastic. Well, you guys are up against some titans coming up here. The crowd sure does love you. I wanted to know what you think your chances are going forward. Are we going to see you in the finals? You're in the semifinals, man.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Oh, man. Woo. All right, dude. I'm going to let you go. You're too hype for me. Thank you so much. You're amazing, dude.
Thank you, guys. All of you for your support.
All right. Thank you so much.
Ad FINEM. They really are on cloud 9. In fact, no, they are higher than that. They are on Mount Olympus. Such a huge feeling for them. I mean, now we have the opportunity to break down how this came about. I mean, this was, at the point I was trying to make before we did grab a very loud Greek from the stage, was that this was by no means locked in that third game. By any stretch of the imagination. It could have gotten, we were kind of watching the odds shift in that green room and constantly giving me new numbers, Winter. Talk to me.
Well, the early game didn't go too well for the Alchemist. He was like ganked many times, didn't really get a smooth start. But then the high ground defense, that's when FINEM made a couple of mistakes. That's why the game became really, really tense for both teams. Like, it could still go either way at the end of it. Like, buybacks came into play, Roshan especially.
The acceptors started being pulled around. We talked about some of the ones there, giving the Sand King one, whether or not Ursa could have benefited from one.
The Sand King one was something that me and Parker talked about it a lot. Like, it was, we were really unsure that if it was the best axe pool for them. We felt like maybe giving the Ursa the ability to activate its ultimate under disable situations would be better for them, since Ursa is their main damage source. But not so sure about that pull to the Sand King. But regardless, at FINEM, they put up a hell of a display. They made a few mistakes, but still they came back from it.
Skylark's early game with his rotations was fantastic. I mean, he's a player that can be like that hit or miss play in the off lane. This was one of his biggest hits. He was everywhere, finding kills, finding pickoffs. He was contesting the Alch's jungle. The big reason why the Alch couldn't find much in that jungle was because of him, as well as MNT on Mirana. MNT also somehow got ridiculously farmed. I couldn't believe seeing him like at the top 3 of the net worth at one point. Everyone from FINEM just stepped up their game.
The team fights, I mean, you were on the edge of the seat with some of these team fights. There was that one, most of them looked like they could have gone. This one right here, maybe it's not this one, it's later on, same area, but it could have gone either way. It could have gone either way. It comes down to those tiny details, tiny plays, tiny misplays, and it all adds up. It was unbelievable stuff.
I mean, what was so great as well is seeing that Xiaowei on that Bat Rider that we had highlighted by Purge to be, I mean, he even said, play this while you can because of how powerful it was, and FINEM still finds a way.
I don't think it was even really that good this game because of the fact that he did his job, but he did take away a big portion of the stacks from the Alchemist, so Alchemist had to share his jungle. That was the downside of having the Bat Rider in the jungle. That's a good
point, yeah. I mean, the Silencer back combo, the times when it worked well, but the problem was I think they had the OD was able to do an awful lot in this game.
They were
saving
too
people and damage and stuff.
When they didn't have the combo working, if they initiated a fight and things were slightly off, that's the fights they lost really badly. They'd lose 3 or 4 heroes, including their carries, and it didn't look all that great. Everything had to like come together perfectly for LFY and their team fights in order for them to stand a chance.
Yeah. Well, we didn't understand as well why Yao didn't level Epicenter earlier. He was level 8 without it. He just kind of stood there. That would have been a great potentially fight-winning Epi. It just didn't happen. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, you know, Yao's got his reasons, but I was just curious what it was.
He makes up for it here, though.
Yeah. Now this is what you want. We kind of felt like, wow, they didn't see that coming. This is the kind of fight. Yeah, they saw him
was pinging on him,
channeling it. But they just couldn't do anything about it. Still got a 3-man stun off, and at that point we thought, oh boy, it's going to start.
This is what we were talking about, right?
Yeah, this is it. I mean, you know, that kind of high ground defense from
LFY,
the Great Wall of China. Like Winter kept screaming in the green room. You know,
one of these days we're going to record Winter in the green room.
Oh man, it was just too funny. Kill the Greeks was my favorite quote. Oh man, it was something else. But yeah, I just think that at FINEM, they didn't panic once. They played like seasoned veterans.
Truly.
They really did. Even when they made a mistake, it didn't tilt them. They didn't look uneasy. Phenomenal.
I think it just fell back and then reset. Like the OD dying at top trying to save Spartan was a really big misplay, but they don't let it get to them. They never seem to get tilted by their mistakes.
In the end, Spartan won them the last and final deciding fight. He got the lift onto Xiaowei before he got the lasso off, and he stole the lasso and he casted it on the Ursa with BKB.
That's unbelievable.
That won them the fight handily.
I mean, it's only appropriate, isn't it? And as well, the man on your screens there, you see Thug.
Yeah, this was the fight.
He was the catalyst to their rise, actually. He was where the biggest improvement came from on an individual basis to get at FINEM to this location, and now, well, they're thriving.
So he steals the lasso here, and he just waits. He's waiting for that
Astro as well.
The cheese, they didn't expect the cheese either. I think Cap picked up on that. But yeah, it just sort of came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, OD, holy cow, we've been wasting all this time. Meanwhile, on the backlines, at that point, they were so low at FINEM. I thought, oh my god, they've blown it. But nope, they're just too good.
The OD from Thug wraps it up. I mean, I love that as we do continue to list them off, we have covered every single player from the FINEM squadron.
Oh, they were brilliant. They played brilliantly.
I mean, we should probably reflect just a moment on the LGD roster. FY, I mean, you said already they were not far away. This was a 3rd series, and just a quick reminder that FINEM have played every single game possible. 15 games. Oof. Every series has gone all the way to 3.
Where do they find the energy? Unbelievable. Like even in the 3rd game of a 3-game series, they're still as hype as they were at the first. This was such a great fight for them.
That's why I said they are the hungriest team here. Like from their expression, the way they celebrate, they are definitely the team that wants it the most. They want the victory more than anyone else here.
100%.
And in those close games, that can sometimes carry you across. Like that's what you need, is just to be that much more passionate.
Wow.
Just
oh my god!
I have never seen someone take a headset off as fast as Spartan then.
Yeah. Oh wow. Normally you have one character on a team that's like this.
Yes.
They are all like that.
That's what like No-Tail used to do with Fnatic a bit, where he was the guy always yelling, getting super hype. They've got 5 of them.
It's like 5 swindles.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like you think back to Team Liquid at TI3
crowd on their feet.
You know, but the whole team is just how could you not fall in love with this team?
They have besotted Boston. It's true. It has occurred. Ad FINEM have definitely stated their claim to the Wang Theatre. We will reflect now on the numbers, though. It's going to be telling a story perhaps even better than us in some instances. And it was, of course, an Alchemist game that failed. 2 in a row, back-to-back, where Alchemist did not find the victory. I am not complaining.
They didn't kill Marana once. I can't believe it. I thought he must have died at some point.
What?
He went 7-0-14. Look at
0.
Yao, 0-10. Holy cow.
And his hero damage, he does 13,000 hero damage almost rivaling Madara on the Lifestealer, Thug on the OG.
There were a bunch of times you saw him. He was able to dip in and out of the fights really well. He also picked up a Dagon. I didn't even notice that. Wowee.
And our MVP has been nominated. Spartan picks this one up, but I mean, the fact that when we were kind of brainstorming who gets this MVP, we went through 4 names.
It was tough.
That's so hard. I mean, it literally was a team effort.
Well, and that's the thing. You give it. That's where the captain, the heart and soul of the team. I think he walks away with it. He's the one who's kind of pulled them together. He's really the spirit that keeps them driving forward, and he made that sick Rubik play. So
that
won it for me.
And he deserved it.
The game-winning play at the end of that one. Well, we should go ahead and have some of these little bit extra information. Of course, Purge is there. He's been watching tentatively the edge of his seat. Let's see what he has to say at the end of this.
Hey guys, before we get started, I just want to say maybe next time MVP was robbed. 0 deaths, highest net worth on his team. You guys did him wrong. Fight number 1. This is pretty big for Ad FINEM. They had a great early start. Their mid-game was amazing. They shut down the Alchemist, but the problem is they didn't have very good tower hitting or building hitting heroes. The big thing was really acid spray. It's -7 armor. It's going to put Lifestealer in this bad location. He only has 7 armor here while he's going high ground. He has to worry about Batrider. He has to worry about physical damage. He has to worry about disable. And the issue is basically his item build, he had to grab the Manta early on. That's because he's against the Silencer. So they had this longer period of time where Ad FINEM had trouble actually killing Barracks. Stuns are a big deal as well. He does have Aegis here, and they followed up, but this is really the moment where LGD got a BKB as well. So not only did they lose this fight after trying to go high ground from their initial kill, they also lost a gem, and that gem was crucial for LGD to get a lot of map control in the next 20 minutes. Similar fight later here. Another Aegis on Lifestealer, going high ground again. He's got a Hyperstone instead, working towards AC, of course. Now the big mistake that Spartan made is he's actually standing right next to a, I'll go old school here, a Ziggurat, and it gives vision, which means despite them having a ward and them being able to go in, he gets blown up at the start of the fight. So really the only difference is the fact that Lifestealer is able to keep himself alive and they're able to clean up a Sanking on the backline. Because basically once the ultimates are gone for LGD, they're able to finally hit buildings. It took a little bit of doing and it took another round of disables, but that's basically how hard they had to fight just to win it. They had great laning heroes, but once they got high ground, LGD made it super hard.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I think, you know what, the fact that there's only 2 clips from Purge is because he was sitting there in the crowd cheering them on. That's why, yeah. He did his 2 clips, then he put on his Ad FINEM shirt, held up that Greek sign. It was actually him.
Trust me, that is not Purge's way.
They don't let him out of the closet.
No, you're right.
He's trapped
in the closet. Interesting. David Parker, what on earth is that exposed here on the Boston Major? Interesting choice of words. And the day is done. We end on a high, as we always do here in the Dota community and here in the Boston Major. We should, though, go ahead, take an opportunity to reflect upon the day, and the best way to do that is by bringing up that bracket. It has been crazy. We started with the round of 16. We started with 16 teams. And over the course of 2 days, we brought it down to just 4. 4 names remain in the pool.
Yeah. 3 of those names, perhaps not a surprise as far as names you'd expect to see in the top 4 of a major Valve event if you look at OG, EG, and DC, but Ad FINEM, that's still the name that stands out, and it's still crazy to think they're in that semifinal.
Yeah, let's not forget, of course, that first game of the day, the VPEG, Ted. We were expecting a full 3-game brawl.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this a bunch of times, is why didn't we just think EG were going to win this thing?
Right.
Like, it was kind of like they should have been the first name that people were coming up with. Their record in big tournaments is insane, and they are a dynasty of a team. There is no way that they should not be a team that most people would just put automatically into the final. But we did expect a lot more from VP. They didn't shine on the day, and EG took them apart. Honestly, I'm not so sure if Ad FINEM, maybe this is the furthest they can go, maybe not, but I'm hopeful.
But it remains to be seen.
I'm just saying that the amount of money that they won today, even with this finish, it dwarfs anything they've won before. $7,000 was the highest amount they'd won before, and now they've won $250,000. So, you know, I personally would say, I'm done, guys. I'm happy with that. But they don't look like the kind of guys to do that.
Oh, they're not throwing in the towel. I mean, this is a team that we've already said are reluctant to call GG.
Yeah.
There's no way they're coming into tomorrow calling
on.
GG. Yeah, we'll be talking more about them tomorrow because the day is done. We did get some great results. We saw Warriors making OG sweat. We got to see DC versus NP and a little bit of a mismatch taking us by surprise. But our semi-finals and grand finals are coming up tomorrow. This is what it is. This is your final day of the Boston Major. It is set in stone. I said yesterday you had to set your alarms early for VP versus EG, but I swear if you don't set 3 alarms and you don't tell your mum or your dog to come wake you up, you're a fool.
But
Evil Geniuses
who missed his
versus
alarm today?
Yeah.
Hey,
3 people missed their alarm.
Don't call me out. I got here in time, and so did a lot of our viewers. But yes, 2 semi-finals and a grand final. Tomorrow is the final day of the Boston Major, and we'll be crowning a champion. Will OG get another? Will FINEM seriously continue this story? All those questions and more are going to be answered tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Boston Major. We'll be back same time with 3 spectacular games of Dota. You don't want to miss it, and we'll see you there.